You want me to play the Snorlax deck? I am open to that in the future. I don't have plans on doing that today, but I'm open for it in the future for sure. If these live games do well on my YouTubes. If they don't do well on my YouTubes, I probably won't do them again, but... oh my goodness. My opponent is playing Arkelodon, it looks like. I am playing Can't Draw Basic to save my life. Is this Pokemon not Pocket, but like Tabletop? It is. It is. Alright. Let's see what we want. Pikachu. This will be okay, because we can get out one Chansey with this Nest Ball. And we can attach an energy to the Pikachu right off the bat. So... that'll be good. If I was a daring individual, I would get the Greninja first and just like trust that I would pull what I needed in time, but alas, I am not. What deck am I playing? So this is a Pikachu EX, Blissey EX deck. The idea is to use the Glass Trumpet to get 2 lightning energy, or to get 2 energy out of my discard pile onto benched colorless Pokemon. And then Blissey, who is a colorless Pokemon, has an ability that once per turn it can move an energy from the Blissey to, or from one of your Pokemon to another one. So we're gonna use, our goal is to get out 2 Blissey so that we can Trumpet onto our Blissey and then move those energies to Pikachu, attach the 3rd one from hand, and Topaz Bolt for 300, and then next turn play another Trumpet, repeat the process. Now that little 30 damage is actually a bit of a disaster for me because Pikachu has this really fancy ability, Resolute Heart, where if it has full HP and is knocked out by damage from an attack, and would be knocked out by damage from an attack, it is not knocked out and instead has 10 HP remaining. So now they can evolve into Arkelodon and make me have a sad time. Looking like... it's looking like... opponent might also have a banned hand, so we might be okay for a turn. TBD. It's like a Surge deck in Pocket, almost, I guess. Almost, I guess. I've never seen a Arkelodon deck like this. I don't know what's up with this. This might, like, they just did a ladder reset thing that I think also reset MMR. Like, it didn't just reset your spot on ladder, it also reset, like, your MMR, because I'm facing a lot of decks I never would have expected to see otherwise. Oh, okay, this is just to go get supporters? It's kind of cute. So yeah, I'm used to playing against non-stop meta decks, which is my preference, but I've been seeing a lot of, like, off-meta strategies today that I'm not used to, and I have to attribute it to the new ladder. Hey, Blue Train. So yeah, I haven't really seen it with the Banette before, but this is kind of cool, I guess. I was expecting it to be Banette EX, and I was like, how are they running Banette EX with Arkelodon? That's weird. But it's not. They're playing it just to get supporters back. Do they have the Arkelodon? They don't. Interesting. Okay, so we get to knock that out now, which is great. Well, assuming I find everything I need to find, which maybe I won't. I don't know, maybe I didn't want to do that. But anyways, here's this. We need a lightning energy. We can get that with this. So, is there one in my deck? There is lightning in my deck. So I can get Vessel for the lightning, and then for the tool, I don't really need any of these, to be honest. I guess I'll get Rescue Board. That way we can, after Pikachu gets knocked out, we can send this up and figure out from there what we want to do. But yeah, so I do this. We'll discard Boss because I think there's a pretty good chance we'll need Ultra Ball next turn. And here we get to Topaz Bolt for 300. Boop. The Arkelodon only has 300 health, but they're running this this tool. The stage 1 Pokemon this card is attached to takes 30 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So they like effectively have 330, but okay, so we're gonna be behind on prizes. I was gonna say, like, what's annoying about that is we have those stadiums, right, to be able to get to the 330 benchmark with Gravity Mountain, but it only affects stage 2s, which Arkelodon is not. I guess I'll send up my Greninja since I bothered to do that. But then all right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this, hitting Fezandipiti. I'm gonna put that on the bench, attach this energy to the Pikachu, and then Iono for 5, and our opponent gets the same amount they had before. And this could be good. So yeah, first I'll flip. I was in the middle of a thought. I think it's gone. Oh well. We do still need a trumpet. This can conceal cards. All right, trumpet. Boo. No trumpet. We were trumpet short of pulling it off. You hate to see it. I guess we're going to feed them a Chansey and hope that works out for us. Okay, so we have Defiance Band. That's what I was talking about. I was talking about knocking out the Arkelodon. So the Arkelodon is stage 1. So if they have that thing on them, this doesn't help us knock it out by giving it minus 30 HP because it's not stage 2 to be able to have minus 30 HP. But we have the Defiance Band. So because they got that first knockout on a basic, they're ahead on prizes, which activates our Defiance Band. So we could Defiance Band Pikachu EX and deal 330 and still knock it out. You can choose which bench Pokemon goes active. Isn't it broken? It is, yeah. So in Pokemon Pocket, they don't have Boss's Orders. They only have Sabrina, which is like... in paper Pokemon, your opponent choosing to switch which comes active isn't worth a supporter. So like items do that. There's an item that forces your opponent to switch and lets you switch. Escape Rope. I guess that's not in standard right now. But there's an iron bundle that when it's on your bench, you can discard it and make your opponent switch as an ability. So like it never costs you your supporter to make your opponent switch when they get to choose. But Boss's Orders is Sabrina, but you get to pick. And oh, see, look, they just did the iron bundle. So that's what I was just talking about. They forced me to switch. I think I'm gonna give them this Greninja. So yeah, Boss's Orders does let you pick. It's not as broken as it would be in Pocket. In Pocket, it would just be unbelievably broken because A, it's harder to switch back in Pocket. They can just choose something with high retreat cost and it sets you back turns. But also you have less access to your deck in Pocket, so losing something that your opponent gets to pick off your bench is more devastating. do this. Trumpet? We can get the trumpet with the Arven. All right, sick. Okay, so here, deck is now going to work as intended. We need metal and grass. Metal for Blissey, grass for Blissey, but the opposite of what I just said. We'll switch that back up to the active thingamajig. And then I'm going to replace that stadium. Like, it doesn't help me that the stadium's in play for reducing their health, but with Pokestop, they can draw cards because their deck is built to take advantage of it. And now they won't have that option with the Gravity Mountain up. So that's why I would do that. We'll attach to this. One has 3 cards left, so it does help me if we'll set them to 3. Get rid of some of their options. So yeah, if they had that item again, I could attach Defiance Band here, and it would do the extra 30 damage needed to knock it out. But yeah, so I do think that having it be as easy as it is to bring up one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active by way of having boss's orders always around is a little bit much for modern Pokemon. Like, I wish it wasn't always that way. Like, I remember back in my day, you used to be able to like retreat something to the bench that was close to dead, and you could like basically expect it to live. Dealing damage to the bench and bringing up something up from the bench used to be a lot more premium like 15 years ago in Pokemon, but it's been pretty easy nowadays, and I think the game is worse for it, but it's not as worse for it as it was being Pocket. It sounds terrible for Pocket, but like, you have more bench Pokemon, you have more access to your deck in this than you do in... Ooh, canceling clones. So they turned off sorry, I'll finish my thought. You have more access to your deck, you have more bench spots. It's easier to recover from boss's orders in this game than it would be in Pocket. But anyway, so they use canceling cologne, which until end of turn, I hate that it does this. It'll like close my discard pile whenever they play something while I'm trying to read something. But anyways, until end of turn, your opponent's active Pokemon has no abilities. So Pikachu has this ability that Resolute Heart, if this Pokemon hasn't taken any damage yet and would be knocked out in one hit, instead it's not knocked out and it has 10 health left. So they turned that off with the canceling cologne so that they could knock it out with the Arkelodon in one hit. But you'll see now we get to do the things. So they have stage 1, the stage 1 Pokemon this is attached to takes 30 less damage from your opponent's Pokemon. But because our opponent has 1 prize left and we have 3 prizes left, they're ahead on prizes, so Defiance Band is active, giving Pikachu 30 more damage. But I also have to need Grass and Lightning. I have to power up my Pikachu. Not currently ready to go, but here, we'll happy switch over to it. Now it is powered up, and you know, evolve that Blissey, why not? I guess I'll put in it, like I have 3 happy switches, right? So I can switch all 3 energy next turn. I don't have to attach this turn to a Pikachu. Hopefully we can find one. Okay, so now we've Iono'd them to 1, which is really, really good, especially if I can find that other Gravity Mountain. I think I'm gonna Fezandipiti first. So everything that was just in my hand is now on the bottom of my deck, which means if I draw from the top of the deck, I won't redraw the cards that I already had in my hand before. So I want to flip the script here after I've trolleyed a Pikachu out of my deck so that I don't draw the Pikachu. But I want to do it before I trolley a Pikachu out of my deck, because if I do it after, then I might redraw everything I just drew, if that makes sense. Everything I just got rid of, rather. Unlucky. Okay, so there's no Pikachu left in the deck at all. So we need a Night Maintenance. There's our Gravity Mountain that we wish we had. Unlucky. It doesn't really matter, right? Like, because I'm talking about all this like if I lose my Pikachu, I'm still in the game, but they only have 1 prize left. So if they manage to pull off what they just pulled off again, we just lose. So they have one card and a dream. They do have this Banette out, so they can get a... What is it? Let me read it. Stop pulling things away that I'm reading when something happens. Once during your turn, you may put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. If you do, put it in the lost zone. So they can use that to get back. They have Boss's Orders, Professor's Research, Iono. So I guess they'd have to research and just hope that they drew enough. It's like the only good play, I think. Because Iono doesn't do anything for them, right? They draw one card. I wonder if they run a second Cologne. I don't think I've seen... Yeah, we haven't seen an A-Spec yet, right? So they could Prime Catcher me if they had a way to retreat. But they basically... They need to either Cologne or they need to bring up something that isn't Pikachu to knock it out in one hit, which in this case is the Fezandipiti. They could knock out Fezandipiti if they could get it up. Pikachu is sturdy weird. I think it's more like in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, when your friendship with your Pokemon is so strong that they really hang in there for you. You know how that happens randomly when you're fighting? Your Pokemon definitely should have been knocked out, but then it's like, no, it's not knocked out. It wants to be friends forever. You know, whatever that mechanic is. But yeah, here, my opponent can get wrecked. Look at this. Oh, hold on. Spec board. I have one of each type in my hand, so as long as I don't choose the same type twice, we're fine. Alright. My opponent saw the writing on the wall. How hard from Yu-Gi-Oh! To Curvestone are TCG Pokemon decks to learn? Middle? So, like, the thing about the Pokemon trading card game decks is you're not just playing with your hand, because it's so tutor heavy, you're kind of playing with your deck. So there's just a lot of things you have to think about whenever you make a decision. And you need to play a lot of cards in a turn, so you have a lot of actions to take. But as far as progress in the game, because of how the prize system works, there's only so much you can accomplish overall in a turn. So it's not like you have to balance this big thing that results in you doing a turn one win all the time. If that difference makes sense. Should I risk it for the biscuit and get Greninja, or should I play it safe, like a safe Sally, and get a Chansey? I will never attack with Pikachu if I just get Chansey, so I guess I'll go for the Greninja. And if we miss, we miss. We miss, we miss. I've already tossed a metal in the discard pile, right? Okay, so we'll toss something that isn't metal. Unlucky. But you know, we're kind of set up for next turn. Our opponent doesn't have a great starter either. This could be either Charizard or Regidrago, and maybe it's Dragapult, but they usually run the Alakazam. That Thorns deck with the Pult is kind of the newest sauce out of Stuttgart, along with the Cloth Terapagos. The Cloth Terapagos was from Sacramento. The Thorns Dragapult thing, I had seen that on Japanese sites before. I think that was actually a Japan original. I don't know that I'd seen the Terapagos Cloth thing before. That's interesting. But yeah, it is the newest sauce. I don't fully understand the merits of the pairing, but I'm excited to try that deck out. If these videos do well, I'll definitely do a video of me playing that one. Okay, so opponent is playing Charizard. Yeah, we just do this. Go get our trolley. Trolley and Evo. I don't love the idea of keeping Fez active, but like it's kind of difficult for Charizard to knock Fezandipiti out next turn, so hopefully it won't matter, and that way we don't have to attach more energies to non-Pikachu Pokemon. What is our discard pile situation? You know what? Instead of one of these Pikachus, I think I should have gotten a third Chansey. And that way they can't just gust up a Chansey and prevent me from... Well, it's not going to be a Chansey, right? It's going to be a Blissey. All right, I take it back. 2 metal in play, so I guess I'll keep this third metal in my hand and discard the grass. Wow. And then we'll go evolve our Chanseys. Oh wow, a different similar game? Real. Clefairy just got picked up a lot and had like a 55% conversion rate. Yeah, it seems good. It seems good. So the Cloth deck that's different is it takes advantage of the Area Zero and Terapagos interaction to have additional bench space to have more support Pokemon, but also the Terapagos itself in that deck does 220 like the Terapagos you guys saw me play earlier, but it can deal an additional, you know, what is it, like 70 damage between the Mochi and the poison from Sneasler. So, you know, 290 knocks out Pidgeot, knocks out Regidrago. That's what's like a really important breakpoint. I guess I'm gonna Iono my opponent because they have too many cards in hand, or maybe I'm gonna boss knock out this thing because I want to take 2 prizes if I can get a boss. I can. Sick. All right. So I did do a little bit of a marshy doo-doo, and I attached to Pikachu instead of attaching to active Fezandipiti, but I don't think it matters because I can happy switch this lightning over to the Pikachu, and I have a happy switch left over to move, I guess, this grass energy to the active. I do that. Oh, it should have been metal I moved over because I still have the metal in my hand. Oh well. It shouldn't matter too much because we just kind of need to hit trumpets regardless. That said, maybe I'll just fish a little bit for the trumpet. Didn't get it. But anyways, Topaz Bolt. We get to take 2 prizes. Knocked out the Rotom. And yeah. So yeah, they get to like the Cloth deck uses this Aspect 2, search your deck for any number of basic Pokemon and put them on your bench. And then what you end up doing is you get Oranguru V, Latios EX, and Petulant EX, and the regular Petulant. So whatever your active Pokemon you started with was, you retreat that, send up the Oranguru. It's free retreat because the Latios EX gives all of your basic Pokemon in play for your retreat cost. The Oranguru gets to search your deck for Forest Sealstone and the capsule that you need to put on the bonnet. So yeah, that's another thing you would have gotten with the trolley. And like the Forest Sealstone, like it all just depends on what your opening hand looks like, because like sometimes you need to like Terapagos, Area Zero, and then trolley to make everything work. But ideally, by the end of your turn, you have Hisuian Sneasler on your bench, Petulant active, and Bonnet on the bench with an energy capsule on it. So the Bonnet, when it has a capsule on it, it can make both active Pokemon poisoned. Petulant, when it's active, in between turns, a Pokemon will take 50 more poison damage. And Sneasler, when it's just on the bench, does 2 extra poison damage. So you can, this actually happened to me once in part of my best of 3 set in the finals of the cup I won last week. Or I guess week before last. The second game, my opponent did all of that, and all I had was Fan Rotom active, which has 70 HP. So my opponent was able to set all of that up and deal 80 damage to my active Rotom before I'd even had a turn. So they got to win game 2 with just that. It's pretty silly. It looked like such a pile at first, but it all comes together so well. Yeah, for sure. I played a couple of games with it earlier. So I'm like just getting familiar with it. All right. Well, my opponent just did a bunch of things to me and I didn't like it. Hopefully, because they use the Dust Noir, it doesn't matter as much if I can't gust up the Pidgeot, but I'd really like to gust up that Pidgeot. So I guess I'm gonna see if I can't make that happen. Only one lightning in the discard pile, so I guess I will discard this light. Also, they use the Dust Clops to get 50 damage on my Pikachu, so now it's gonna get knocked out despite having its Resolute Heart ability. So I need... What's in my hand? Grass is in my hand, so I need lightning on the field. I guess I'll just let the grass one hang. And as long as I don't have access to a boss this turn, I'm gonna Iono, which I have what? I said I had a grass in hand? I have grass in hand, okay. So like they have Fezandipiti and they have Pidgeot, so it's like not impossible at all for them to get going again next turn, but it's gonna make it a little more annoying at least that they're gonna have 4 cards instead of that whole 9. All right, now I have all my energy colors in play. Should I trumpet again? No reason not to, right? So get a grass for the left one. Well, it's a duplicate either way, but like we're gonna be switching them off regardless, so whatever. So yeah, we'll do this. Now we have energies in play to flip off. Energies in play to happy switch off. We're not gonna be too rude to those energies, don't worry. I no longer need a Chansey, so I'm gonna go ahead and discard that just so I never redraw it. And I would maybe like to have a lightning energy in hand, so I'll leave those in deck so we can get them with the Iono. But yeah, here we go. And with that, I will Resolute Heart. Trying to decide if that ever bites me in the butt. I don't think it does. So there's a supporter Briar that if your opponent has 2 prizes left, you can play it and your Terra Pokemon will deal... Oh, I drew the Chansey, but I didn't have a open board slot, so I didn't get to do the lucky thing. Your Terra Pokemon that take a knockout that turn will take 1 additional prize. So, me being at 2 prizes opens myself up to that, right? They could come up with their Charizard, which is a Terra Pokemon, knock out Pikachu and take 3. But they can't Briar and also Thornton, right? So Thornton allows you to take a basic that's been in play and switch it with a basic in your discard pile, and the new basic Pokemon will have existing effects on the Pokemon you switched it with, including turns in play. So that's a way that you can get a Duskull back into play and be able to Rare Candy Dust Noir in the same turn. See, that's what they're doing now, it looks like. And oh, they're using it for the... Yeah, but you could hit Duskull and then Rare Candy Dust Noir right away. That's Thornton. But Briar is also a supporter, so you can't do both of those in a turn. So they weren't able to like do Dust Noir on my like Briar first to get the effect going, and then Dust Noir to take a prize off of the Radiant Greninja, and then Charizard EX knocks out the active Pikachu for 3 prizes. That's, I think, what they would have liked to happen. Okay, so now what we need is to draw boss's orders, and then we win the video game, which will be, that would be just great for me. Oh, we need to draw an energy too, so let's see what we can energy do. All right, there's the boss. Any deck thinners? All right, 17 cards in deck. We need a night maintenance, or we need an energy. Can we get it? If not, I uninstall. All right, sick. We got them both. So I get to do this. We happy switch the energy up. Metal is the last one. And there we go. We boss up the Pidgeot, and we deal 10 million damage to it, thanks to Topaz Bolt. And that's our last two prizes. Yeah, opponent conceded. Okay, starting with Blissey, or Chansey rather, once again. You love to see it. Love to see it. And by love to see it, I mean you hate to see it. And it just keeps happening anyway, even though I don't want it to happen. Chansey start is better than, like, Chansey and nothing else start is better than, like, Pikachu and nothing else start. Because we can at least evolve. Like, there's a world where we could at least hit with the return attack next turn. The primary reason to do what I'm doing right now is just to get energy in the discard pile. But otherwise, there's no real reason to do this first. I mean, like, we don't want to top deck an energy in this spot either, right? So it kind of thins our deck, but the best reason to do it is just we want an energy in the discard pile for Trumpet, so if case they Iono us this coming turn, we've at least made that much progress. My opponent is running the Hydreigon deck. Very spicy, very spicy. Seeing a lot of this Pidgey today. This Pidgey is a good Pidgey in a vacuum, because if you start with it, you can at least call for family, search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon. That's pretty good. But that's only if you go second, right? So those attacks aren't as good as they used to be. Like, it used to be you could attack on the first turn, in which case that was great. But the Dust Noir, or rather the Dust Clops, the stage 1 of that line. Oh, really? No Trumpet? No Trumpet, no way to get a Trumpet. That's bad news, Bears. So yeah, now I have to Arven next turn. That's too bad. I would have loved to, like, get the knockout here. This way, I have the option to switch, happy switch, attack with Pikachu next turn, but I can still Trumpet, or even just take that lightning back and hit with the Blissey this coming turn. Looks like opponent, oh, 4 Steel Stones, so just gonna get like candy. We would also need Gravity Mountain in order to be able to attack with Pidgeot, or attack with Pikachu against the Hydreigon this turn and knock it out. We could just do it first and then Stadium later. Actually, now that I think about it, we don't have to have it out at the right time. We can just Pikachu and then the following turn just... Although if they manage to get the Hydreigon's attack off this turn, we're gonna lose both of our bench Chansey, and that would be bad for us. But anyway, it does like 110, I think it is. And to the active, and then you get to pick 2 of your opponent's Pokemon and deal 110 to it. I think that's what the attack is. Could they do it from this spot without a counter gain? They'd have to discard a Dark Energy, Dark Patch. They need a lot, and I don't think they have it all. So I think they can only first attack this turn. Yeah, so they have the counter gain now, but it doesn't do them any good because they're not behind on prizes. Counter gain is a tool that if you're behind on prizes, the Pokemon it's attached to takes 1 less energy to use its attack. So like if they were behind on prizes, they'd get to use Obsidian this turn. But because they're not, I think they're still wrestling with that. They're still coming to terms with it. Yeah, the first attack, oh, that was kind of good for me. Discarding another energy and nothing unimportant. Hey Trolley, good to see you. So it's 130 to each one. That's devastating. So yeah, at least I'm not hurt by the existence of the Chanseys being 110 instead of 130. Okay, I think I am gonna try to at least bop that with Pikachu a bit here. That and that, I guess. So I need a medal for the Pikachu. I'll just get two so I don't mess it up. All right, do this. Happy switch, and then if we get Gravity Mountain this turn, great. If we have to, you know, just let it sit there with 300 health and find it later, also great. What's not great is now if they have another energy, they just knock out Blissey and Chansey. That's actually a disaster for me. Maybe we should have Ultra Balled for a second Blissey. No, okay, they have to hit the active Pikachu, never mind. Death by Stadium is honestly so embarrassing for them. Too true, too true. Do you think they're gonna leave up my Blissey? Or what? They're probably gonna knock out Blissey and a Chansey, right? It'd be really cool if they knocked out Greninja, right? That'd be sick. Oh? Okay, so they are gonna knock out all three. Okay, that's a little bit of a disaster. A little bit. A little bit. That didn't seem worth doing. They're afraid of the Defiance Band. Okay. So that's nice. Really need to find that. If we find the Gravity Mountain this turn, it's gonna be great for us. It's gonna be really, really good. If we don't, it's gonna be less good. Well, that's the wisdom of MartianBuu. So I guess we get this. Maybe we'll just do this first then. Okay, so we can get Blissey back. Alright. So I'm gonna go get a Fezandipiti. And then hope and pray it hits Gravity Mountain. Because if it doesn't, it's bad news bears. Alright, maximum deck thinning. Let's go. Gravity Mountain. Yeah! Alright, sick. So that takes care of the active Hydreigon. So now they have to build a new one. Oh, we have another one. Good. Good for us. Okay, so I'm gonna get this Blissey. Alright, I think that's good enough. Done all we can. So the fact that they have the Pidgeot makes it so scuffed, right? Like, I don't know. They're not behind on prizes. They've already lost their fancy energy. So they basically just have to attack with the first attack off Hydreigon for the rest of the game. How many bosses did I have to get rid of? A lot, right? Do I even have any left? No, okay, just one. That's fine. Was it just one, or was it a trick of closing the thing? Yeah, we've only lost one boss, so we could be okay. I feel a lot more confident if we had boss in hand. I suppose if they come up with Hydreigon and knock out Pikachu this turn, we'll be in a really good spot, because then Fezandipiti will be active. And if they don't do that, we've bought ourselves another turn. So I think we'll be okay. Maybe? Maybe. I'm tickled my opponent was so afraid of Defiance Band that they wasted a boss to sub this Pikachu for that Pikachu. It kind of makes sense, right? Alright. So, Sayonara, Pikachu. What we got in here? Okay, I guess I'll grab a medal. You know what? That Pidgeot might be more important than the Hydreigon. And they just need a gust to hit Radiant Greninja, right? So maybe not. It's tough. It's tough. It's like, what I'm afraid of is they'll just like rare candy the Dust Noir. But yeah, they need something to actually knock something out, right? So I don't know. I think Iono must be better. But like, they have an out either way. They can still win this game. Because I'll be at 2 prizes left, so they can rare candy Dust Noir and knock out Greninja if they need to. And so yeah, they can either rare candy Dust Noir, hit Greninja, or they can boss hit Greninja. So like, you need 2 cards for the Pidgeot. I guess you need either card because you go and get the other one with the Pidgeot. So maybe it was better to make him need a boss. But then they have an extra card to start off with. I don't know. It's just cuffed at this point. It's like, do they have it? If they have it, they have it. If they don't, they don't. Boop. I pulled the full art Pikachu EX in pocket. Now I have to open a Charizard pack until I get his full art for the completionism reasons. I hear ya. Today is a sick day. Happy to have some live Martian content. Keep me saying, oh, you like it's a sick day for you. I'm sorry you're sick. You hate to see it. All right, Poffin's a good start. So, the only thing opponent knocks out in one hit is Greninja. So theoretically, I can just if we don't get the boss here, boss would be better, right? we would need boss and an energy, which I can no longer get. But like, we weren't getting the boss if I didn't do that, so it's not like a mistake was made. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to Iono that hand back down, because now they need 2 cards again. They need, for the Hydreigon line, they need more than 2 cards. They need Rare Candy, Hydreigon, Dark Energy, Dark Energy. Yeah, so that's just not like Dark Energy, Dark Patch. So they need 4 to make that happen. And no, the Pidgeot has future cost. So it's just Rare Candy, Dusknoir. That's all we're afraid of. But we've put them back to 1 again, so like they really are just gonna have to high roll. So if they get either, actually, you know what? Now that we're at 1, it's just a tie. So they can't win off Dusknoir anymore. Also, I should have checked my deck, right? I could have just lost just there by being silly. But so yeah, they can Rare Candy Dusknoir to tie. They need, okay, so now they can't do that. Yeah, the 4 retreat cost on the Blissey is so much retreat cost, chat. It's unbelievable. Well, I have boss, right? So I just bossed up a Duskull. Right, I was thinking like, how am I gonna get this Pikachu up to be able to knock out the Hydreigon? And it would involve like either top decking Switch or top decking energy, but I don't think I have any left. I have 7, I have 12 total energy in the deck. So yeah, every energy is either on the field or in my discard pile. How many Night Stretcher do I run? It might just be 2. But yeah, we'll just we'll boss around it. It'll be fine. It's not like they can even. Oh, are they going for the tie? Chat, are they going for the tie? You know what? It is what it is. Wait for the tie, chat. Now, do you play sudden death when it's a tie in this? I think it's only happened to me once before, and I was surprised by the result. Like, do we have to go back and do sudden death? Entering sudden. Oh, it's just sudden death mode from here? No, it is. We start over. Okay. Interesting. I can probably take a prize before them. Maybe it's gonna matter who goes first or second. First player to take the prize wins. All right, I'm ready. Sick. All right, going first is good. There's Chansey. We only put out 1 prize? Surely that's not how it works in paper. I don't think that's how it works in paper. I think it's just you take your first prize and then you win. But like, if this is how it would work in paper, so if you're only putting out 1 prize for sudden death, then cards like Blood Moon Ursaluna and Radiant Charizard that get to attack based off of how many prizes your opponent is missing, you just attach energy to them and they deal 240, 250. Like, it's so easy just to get the first knockout. It's a little silly. Okay. Not a great start. Not a great start, I'll say that much. We might lose the sudden death. This is very weird. Also because in paper, it would have just been a tie, right? Like in a tournament setting. Because finals are usually best of 3. And So if we're playing best of one like we are right now, we're not at the finals yet, we're in Swiss, and that would have just been a tie. The fact that they went and did that now makes me think they don't have an Iono or something in hand. Okay, they have that. Or that Petrant. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they can just Petrant me. That's so silly. They haven't attached an energy yet. Oh, they kept the stone in their hand? That's nice. We get to get rid of their Hydreigon that they went and searched for, and we get to get rid of their... Force Seal Stone. So hopefully we get to evolve. I forgot. I was just like lamenting about how the prizes are stupid now. No, come on, Pokemon Live. Don't have it be dumb like this. Okay, top deck and energy, please. Just an energy. Let me win. Let me win. Let me win. One energy, one time. Oh my goodness, we're so toast. We're so toast, chat. This is so silly. I know, it's incredibly dumb. It would never work this way in paper. That's so funny. Like when I saw my one card, I was like, huh? Why is it so glitched to very slow me show the trumpet? But no. Okay, so now Chansey's attack doesn't KO. Discard the top two cards of your opponent's deck. Ooh. Can I... Well, don't stomp off, right? Yeah. Okay, come on. Give me something. Is that good? Man. How do you guys like my Gentle Slap aggro deck? Too bad that they got the Zweilous, right? Like, it would have been really cute to end the game with Gentle Slap. I don't know what's happening, but you did get to play many cards. Yeah, we're entering, like, Scuffed Sudden Death. Scuffed Sudden Death mode. Like, quick search for Arven at the very least probably does it, right? Because you can get Seal Stone and something. But yeah, if they have an energy, it's just over. Alright, alright, alright. Well, you know what they say, chat. Sometimes you have to lose horribly in order to be sad that you've lost so horribly. You know, I always say that. Famous phrase coined by me just now. See you later, Regieleki. So yeah, now they need to find that again, which is why I feel like they should have at least powered up a Pikachu last turn. They could have. Oh, I got the lucky bonus. Sick. Okay, so if you take this as a face down prize card and your bench isn't full, you get to put it onto your bench and then flip a coin, and if heads, you take an additional prize card. Haha. All right, sick. It's up for debate what the best Chansey is, because there are Chanseys with 130 health, and that's an important breakpoint, right? So like Amp You Very Much deals 120 if you don't use any double turbos for it, or if you use a double turbo and you have a boosty thing, but nobody does that anymore. So getting to the 130 breakpoint matters to avoid losing two prizes to to Iron Hands. And it also matters because Cramorant deals 110. So against Lost Box, you'd rather have 130 health on your Chansey. So like, the HP difference between the Chanseys matters, but the ability is so funny that I just can't help. Like, I have to run this one. The card is also very cute, right? Like, Chansey looks funny, and its ability is very funny, so I always play this one. Part of the problem is if my bench is... So I don't run this normally. This is my opponent has this in play. So my bench is going to be not full a lot of the time. My bench is going to be full a lot of the time because I only have the 5 to work with. and we want 2 Blissey on the bench, 2 Pikachu EX out between the active and the bench, which leaves us with 2 slots. So that we can have 1 support Pokemon and still, you know, have the space for a Chansey. But I guess if like 2 Chansey were prized, it would be more likely that I'd have an open bench spot. Anyways, it's just like the ability isn't going to trigger if our bench is full anyway, and our bench is going to be full some of the time. So it's definitely up for debate if this is the right Chansey to play. But I think for the fun of it, at least, and also a little bit competitively, it's definitely worth it.